Live from Tech's very own Booster Baker, you're listening to Techies Talking Tech Tonight, colloquially known as T4. I'm your host, Trey Comstock. With me this week is in different shifts, Jimmy Principe, Executive
Hello,
Editor.
Internet.
Sidney Foster, Senior Writer.
Hey!
And later on in the show, through the magic of editing, Gaming Editor Steve Doss. So this is the show where we talk about whatever, and however we want to talk about it, and occasionally we'll talk about tech, or memes, or
We also talk about whatever the fuck we want.
or Schindler's Lust.
Or chain
An
restaurants.
example of Trey talking about whatever the hell he wants.
No. I have a trailer for Schindler's Lust on my hard drive. I don't ever want to watch that. I'm terrified.
Let's think it as some sort of doomsday device.
Because I found a trailer for it. This is going to be great. And I really think about what Schindler's Lust is. Right? Because we've been joking about it. And so me being me, I can find things on the internet. And so I found this trailer for Schindler's Lust. And I downloaded the video file for it. And then I stopped and went, huh.
I've made a terrible mistake.
I'm not going to click this.
Luckily, there is always money in the banana stand.
Yep. So, I have yet to actually play the trailer for Schindler's Lust.
The question is, why do you still have it?
Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't generally delete things.
You could probably...
Just because storage is cheap doesn't mean
Storage
it's infinite.
And it's not a big, it's 10 meg, it's not a big file. But I haven't watched it yet, and I don't really think I'm going to, because
It's probably for the best.
at some point there's a line. And actually watching Schindler's Lust, funny is that
You
time.
watch it, you cannot admit it to the internet.
That's also
Unless
true.
you only do it using Snapchat.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's a different show.
Hence the Boost Bago. So, besides a Boost Bago and Schindler's Lust, this is a bad show. What's new with you, Jimmy?
Well, I'm going to go with Reading Rainbow is new with me.
Good,
Reading
that's a
Rainbow
great palate
is not
cleanser.
new with anybody.
Yes, we are. So, as everyone knows, Reading Rainbow is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
Reading Rainbow and bacon is pretty
Like
much
beer, bacon.
Reading
Disney
Rainbow.
movies. Reading Rainbow is also proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Except for the fact that it went off the air apparently more recently than I thought it did.
2009.
2009.
Yeah, well, you stopped being 9 long before.
Right, I did. The onward progression of time.
Right, and so most things in life go away, but things on PBS do not.
There's probably still Mr. Rogers up on PBS.
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Because it's PBS.
Show.
When I'm a stay-at-home dad, I'll let you know. By stay-at-home dad, I actually mean work-at-home dad, but same idea.
Probably the highlight of my week was when I got an email from one of my coworkers telling me that Reading Rainbow was back.
And on Kickstarter.
Or it was going to bring Reading Rainbow back. And it is actually titled Bring Reading Rainbow Back for Every Child Everywhere.
And so, in true Sundar Pichai fashion, it is reading Rainbow for the Web. Or as I like to say it, Reading Rainbow for the Web. Because it forms an alliteration. Reading Rainbow for the Web. So it's launching on like mobile devices and desktops, and apparently there's already.
And
apparently
in
there's
addition to that, they want to provide like kits for schools and all this
teacher
stuff.
resources.
So
and
with
free
lessons and all kinds of stuff.
free for low income schools and
That sounds awesome.
So their original goal was
$1 million.
approximately $1 million, and they reached that in approximately 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was just-
The internet went, "Oh my God, Reading Rainbow!"
I was sitting there. I think it was actually at Sidney and I's anniversary dinner. I can't remember now. Watching this, and like I would just hit refresh, and it would go up in $100,000 increments. This thing like flew to $1 million. It's a beautiful thing.
So they have a nice little rainbow now on the on the Kickstarter, they've added a stretch goal to 5 million. Right now, they are at time of recording, they are at
Just over 3.4 million.
$3,427,115
Yep.
with 75,985 backers.
Yep.
With
One of which is
28
you.
days to go.
In the interest of full disclosure, you are a backer.
I am a backer of this Kickstarter.
I am
backed
not a
the,
backer. I got
I
burned
did a
by
bug
the
level.
I got burned by the Ouya. So I am, shall we say, Kickstarter gun shy.
Look, all I want is a mug and Reading Rainbow.
I just want it to exist. I mean, I'm not the target market in that I am not a child in need of reading, but well, we can debate
I'm
about
an
that.
adult reading.
I was about to say,
I think I'd watch the video field trips.
I would totally watch the video field trips.
They're the trippiest thing on television when I was a kid, and I bet on the web they are even trippier.
So right now they say, we've reached $1 million, and so everywhere there will be Reading Rainbow on the web, and every child. So their thing is they want Reading Rainbow everywhere for every child. So everywhere it's on the web, and then free access for 1,500 classrooms.
Yep.
Now the $5 million stretch goal is everywhere is mobile, Android. I like how Android and mobile are not the same thing. Consoles and OTT boxes, which I have to assume are Roku's
and Apple TVs and
Chromecast
and Roku.
And then every child up to 7,500 classrooms.
Right. And that's pretty cool.
it's really cool.
Ridiculous. Probably my favorite thing about this, though, is what Trey nearly
cashed out my stock options for.
stock options for, which is, so if this is still available for $10,000.
It won't be for long.
You can, okay, I need to read this because I will mess it up otherwise. So for $10,000, you can get the Ultimate Star Trek Visor package.
Yep.
Where you and a friend will be LeVar's personal guests for a private dinner in Los Angeles. You will get to wear the and this is in all caps, one and only original visor that LeVar wore in Star Trek The Next Generation. This is all abbreviated, of course, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yep.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It is.
Also includes 2 passes to a select fan convention of your choice, where you'll be invited to a meet and greet with LeVar and 2 personalized signed headshots from LeVar.
Yep.
Please note, travel and accommodations are not included. But if you're spending $10,000 to wear a visor...
which I am.
So the other thing is that everything else other than the visor was included in a $3,500 price point. So apparently wearing the visor can be valued at $6,500
minimum.
That's how much it is for 2 people to wear the visor.
Yep. So what's your calendar look like so we can go to LA?
I don't have $10,000, Trey.
I
No.
And my favorite frequently asked question on the Kickstarter, which they have at the bottom, is, will the theme song be back? And it says, of course it will.
It never left. It didn't.
It never left.
I mean, they
hearts.
launched an iPad app 2 years ago, a while back. So Reading Rainbow has been kind of floating around and trying to find a way to modernize and to
be available everywhere.
And think through what that, cable TV was, or kind of the proliferation of television channels was the big thing in the 80s and 90s, right? And so that's how we end up with Reading Rainbow as a television show.
He's Reading Rainbow again.
Yeah. And so that's...
I really want that show, too.
So that's how we end up with
Rainbow.
Reading
with
Rainbow.
In the form that was kind of modern for when we were children.
Right.
Now, if we kind of several tech iterations beyond that, you need something that is relevant for the times, and that is the web. And I think in this case, LeVar and Sundar Pichai are right about this. It is the web. And
it's a great universal thing that everybody has.
Yeah.
Makes Reading Rainbow available to everywhere.
And presumably this means it's being built in HTML5, which... This is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a question here: will it be available everywhere / every country? Yes, the Reading Rainbow app and service will be available everywhere in the world, unless the countries themselves have regional restrictions.
Right. So not China or Iran,
where Reading Rainbow can be accessed.
So that's a heck of a licensing deal that they've got on these books too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not like, you know.
Oh, this is a huge thing. They're
This
basically
is for real.
This really makes me want to become an elementary school teacher. So I have an excuse to use this all the time.
Honey, we could support it with 10,000.
No.
Yep.
Also, LeVar Burton appears to have not aged
Oh,
at all
he's gained weight.
since.
okay. So this is going to come off as slightly racist, but he's African American, and everybody knows that they have beautiful skin.
And he's clearly aging gracefully, shall we
He is
say.
definitely aging gracefully.
He is one of the him and Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart
That's
doesn't
true.
age.
He also hasn't aged.
But he is aging gracefully. Guy who played Data is not aging gracefully. He's not.
He didn't age very gracefully on the show.
No, he didn't. That's
Also
true.
true.
That's one of the reasons I think they had to stop making those movies.
The android is getting old.
The
That
android is
doesn't
getting
make sense.
the android is getting old and fat.
We made a terrible mistake.
We messed.
We
something
really
up.
just didn't think that through to its logical conclusion.
We didn't think the show would last that long. Why is the captain not aging, but the android is?
I'm just really hoping they'll throw in like some Reading Rainbow classics. Like obviously they need to stick with some current children's literature, but you know, toss in Amelia Bedelia or something here and there. The one that I always think of when I think of Reading Rainbow is all the Anansi stories. Yeah, definitely got to get some classics in there.
I mean, I would love to explore the catalog, and I bet we can ask him all these questions over dinner in Los Angeles.
If you cash out your stock options, I'll come.
Or we could
Happy
just
birthday
move
to
to
me.
Los Angeles and work for him.
Wait, yeah, we actually have relevant degrees and skill sets in this field.
I know stuff about
You
edumacation.
two do. I do not.
And I know stuff about education in video production.
There
I
you
could draw
go.
pretty pictures of buildings.
Great, useful. You're sold.
Probably not.
So, Sidney, what's new with you?
What's new with me? Well, so we are all in the process of...
Just take a look. It's in a book.
It's in a book. We're all in the process of gearing up to do something either massively exciting or massively stupid, depending on how you look at it.
I'm buying an Asha phone.
So we're all headed off to Spain soon to walk a really, really long way.
300 miles.
Yes.
And now that school is out, I've been trying to make more of an effort to be a healthy human being. So as part of that, obviously, I'm trying to exercise more. And full disclosure, I am definitely not a person who enjoys exercising. Like, I'll walk, and I like to swim. All those people who enjoy running, I don't
Are lying,
understand
mostly
you.
lying to themselves.
They're
Right,
just crazy.
you just say that because it makes you sound cool, and you
I
just
really like
run
running.
So
you just
that
gotta
can-
you gotta push through the barrier, and then you get the endorphins. Yeah, and you can do heroin, and you don't have to worry about pushing through the barrier. But none of it's good for you.
Yeah, they just run so they have an excuse to drink more beer. But anyway, in an
Seems
effort,
like a good excuse to me.
Look
yeah.
at you,
So
Trent.
I do really like to eat, and I've pretty much decided that my only hope is to exercise more because I'm not very good at controlling what I eat. So in an effort to motivate myself to get out of the house and exercise, I have relatively recently downloaded the Zombies Run 5K training app. Pretty much just on a whim, saying, okay, what is this? How is this going to work? And it's pretty awesome. I've gotten through, at this point, 2 full weeks of workouts. So to kind of break it down, there are basically 2 different apps. There's the full Zombies Run app, and basically it works on an episode system. It has seasons, that kind of thing, because you basically get a plot as you exercise. And then the app I have is the one it's basically your typical Couch to 5K program, which is like an 8-week training thing with splitting up walking and running. So the idea with Zombies Run basically is as you are exercising, you're listening to this story progress. And with this story, you are dropped in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, basically an outpost in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and you are a runner. So it's your job to leave the base, go out, get supplies, don't get eaten by zombies. So
Good plan.
yeah, so as my
Very relevant in Atlanta.
it's a little bit different with the 5K app than the full app. My understanding with the full app is like you'll be running along and you'll get, a transmission in your headset saying, okay, there are zombies ahead. this distance run, so you have to run faster or you get eaten by zombies and you fail your mission. So basically it's a video game and an audiobook kind of all rolled into one, and I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. Part of that may be because one of the characters reminds me of Sean from Assassin's Creed, and that makes me really happy. But yeah, I like it. And
I mean, you actually like a member of Desmond in the Power Rangers?
I love Sean. He's
No, not
actually,
Desmond.
him and
One
the
of
hacker
Power
chick are
Rangers.
all right. It's really just Desmond.
yeah. Gotta love the Power Rangers.
The Power Rangers are okay? Desmond, though.
Desmond. Who is Desmond?
Desmond. Yeah, so and then also in the full app, so as you're out, you can collect things as you run, and then there's an online component where you log on and you can like upgrade your base and all that stuff. So it's
So it's like Farmville, too.
right. It's Farmville, but you have to
Or Assassin's Creed 2.
instead of harassing your friends
true.
on Facebook
That's a good point.
to get things for your farm, you have to go out and exercise to get things for your farm.
Or run around and kill Borgias.
Right.
And then you can build the brothel, and you get discounts on the armaments,
I mean,
And-
I only kill Porsches for discounts on armaments.
and you can buy the paintings to put in your villa. Yep.
Yeah, I never got the paintings thing. I just went and bought the most expensive one and then called it a day.
Yep, that works too.
Made
And
me
then
feel special.
if you collect all the feathers,
Pretty.
you can...
Nobody collects all the feathers.
She did. You get the...
Nobody except for Sydney collects all the feathers.
Sydney may have 100% AC too.
Yep, and then you get the last battle axe, and you can 100% your armaments.
Are you crazy?
It's the only game I've ever done that on, but yeah.
I 100%ed
I have all the achievements.
Lego Harry Potter Part 2 on the PS Vita. It was the only
I'm a
video game I had.
completionist. That's
in-
that's
Reg,
so
you
the reasons
fucking
why
It's the
this
only one I had in Kenya.
yeah, the reasons why Zombies Run works for me. First of all, I want to know what's going to happen next in the plot, and secondly, it has achievements. And unlike Steven, I like getting achievements for random things in my life. So I got an achievement the other day for actually using the app 3 times in 1 week.
Ooh, I love those kinds of achievements.
Yes,
What is wrong with you people?
I like achievements. I don't know. I like my gold stars. Maybe this is why I'm a teacher.
What is wrong? Like,
The list is long but distinguished.
If it makes me exercise.
I'm not sure, but we need to deeply examine the psychology.
Don't hit the player, hate the game.
Sure, yeah. So speaking of third-person action open-world games by Ubisoft, Watch Dogs.
Wait. I don't think we were talking about
talking
third-
about
anyway.
We talked about Desmond and the Power Rangers, and then we talked about
Trying to keep up,
100%ing
Jimmy.
your villa, and then we talked about feathers.
I seem to remember Trey talking about that, not us talking about that.
Yep.
Anyway,
So-
continue.
I was talking about zombies.
So Watch Dogs.
So Watch Dogs came out
So what?
a week ago,
Yep.
and both Jimmy and I have played a little bit of it.
How many hours did you get into it?
2.
Yeah,
got-
I got through like the first story and got back to my little apartment or whatever, and that's as far as I got.
So I did so I made it. Have you been to the birthday party yet?
No.
Okay, so I'm further along than you are.
Yeah, you probably are. Well, yeah, I mean, I basically got to the point where it was save, and then I was like, okay, cool, I need to go.
So I've made it through the first of the hack the CTOS bases,
Okay.
to kind of establish a network link, and so I am about 2 hours in. I worked through it today. I kept getting interrupted because I work from home, and so I just kept getting interrupted.
Wait, we're calling Watch Dogs work.
Yeah, no.
Yep, it's work. Yes, it's work. It's work related. Excuse me. So, what do you think of it, Jimmy?
So certain aspects of it kind of reminded me of GTA.
Really, you don't say.
Yeah,
That was all I could think of when I was watching.
You
And part
hijack
of me-
cars and commit crimes.
Which is
part
why
of
I
me
will
thinks that
never
they
play this
pulled it-
game.
or they delayed it to rework some of that stuff. Some of the GTA, because like in the previews that they showed at E3 last year,
Yep.
I
at the
didn't
Sony
get that
press
big of a
conference.
GTA feel from it.
Well, it's GTA with hacking.
Right.
And so what they played up was the hacking, which is kind of their differentiator. But fundamentally, it's GTA. It's a decent GTA game. So reviews have kind of been all over the place, but consistently high. Like no one seems to really be tanking.
What is it on Metacritic?
That's where I'm going. Last time I looked, it was in the low 80s. That's probably hasn't changed a whole lot. What do you know? Low 80s, 82. And so I followed. We've talked about this a bunch. I followed Giant Bomb, and they happened to be the lowest score at a 60. And that review was written by Jeff Gersman, who I have a lot of respect for. And Jeff's argument is he had fun with it. It's a decent game, but it's fundamentally just too derivative. And
it's not a new thing.
It's not. It's just, the hacking is not enough. Just isn't enough. And so he's not panning the game the way you'd think a 60 would be. He said, he had fun with it, but it's a GTA derivative that feels like what Saints Row used to be, when Saints Row tried to basically copy GTA before it went crazy and GTA went more serious. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. In what I've played of it so far, I really like the hacking mechanic. So I think
it's an interesting mechanic. I also like that when you just you're in that mode and you mouse over people, it tells you random information about them.
Yeah. So you're playing on the PC?
No, I'm playing on PS4.
Okay, on PS4. I'm playing on Xbox One. So I did when I was taking the first CTOS tower, I killed all but 2 guards using only hacking things.
It's kind of cool.
Or all but 3 guards. So I walked in and I killed with just a silenced pistol, killed the first 2 guards. So I could have a secure bulkhead to just lean on my smartphone. And then I started hacking towers, hacking cameras, and you can hack grenades that people are wearing and blow them up.
Oh,
or you can hack steam pipes and shoot jets of steam out at them. Or they're just different things you can blow up in the environment, and you lure them to walk by them, and then you blow it. And you can kill guards that way. And so I killed 6 or 7 guards that way, and then just had to mop up 1 or 2 guards. And it was a lot of fun.
I didn't realize you could do that. Yeah, I need to get further into it apparently.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what you'll do next.
Yeah.
In terms of the story, is you'll go to the C2S tower. I really liked that mechanic. That felt different because I really didn't like the shoot. I don't like third-person shooting for the sake of third-person shooting. I put up with it in games like GTA or LA Noire or Uncharted because I'm in it for the other stuff, generally the story or the world or both.
Right.
I don't like third-person shooters. That's one of the reasons I couldn't make it through Splinter Cell Blacklist, because I'm just like, this is nope, can't do it. Not a bad game, just not for me. So I like the hacking mechanic because it actually works. It's also not super kludgy. It's fast, it moves around, and you kind of...
Yeah, and you don't feel like you're being held back by it.
Right. So far, 2-3 hours into the game, I'm really positive on it. I mean, we'll check back in on Watch Dogs as we play through it. But I think, sitting right here just into it, it's probably not Game of the Year.
Well, I think I like Infamous better.
I mean, it's way too early to say what is Game of the Year. But I had my hopes placed on Titanfall, and that's not going to get it.
Nope.
And I had my hopes placed on Watch Dogs, and I'm going to beat Watch Dogs. Looks like I'm going to enjoy my time with it.
See, my thing is I'm probably not going to play Watch Dogs because there's too much freaking driving. I'm terrible at driving games, and a game that is fundamentally not a driving game but has that much driving in it just completely excludes me from ever wanting to play it.
Sure. I mean, that's how
the driving mechanic works as well as GTA does.
I don't know.
But
which
it kind of feels like you're
I need a
driving
bicycle.
on an air hockey table
Or a horse
that's
or
fair.
something. This is why I do well with Assassin's Creed.
Object
no
in
cars. No cars. Much more difficult to run into walls. I'm terrible at driving games. The only driving games I can somewhat tolerate are all the ones that are meant for little children. So it's just I'm sure all the other stuff is stuff I would really enjoy because I like that kind of adventure action type of game, but too much driving.
Yeah.
Why with the cars? I mean, I could play just very, very slowly and run around the whole city
Nah,
and get great exercise.
But there's chase. I mean,
pay a teenager to do the driving stuff for me.
Yeah, probably. So on that note, I will pitch it to the magic editing to our gaming editor, Stephen Das. Hello, Stephen. He's clicking. Yep. Okay. Great.
It's gonna be one of those.
I'm glad we had that
'Cause
conversation.
I'm tired.
So, besides being tired, Stephen, what's new with you?
That is true. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So what's new with me is there's two things. Number one, just got done playing some Mario Kart 8. Yes, there's
a new Mario Kart out.
There is a new Mario Kart out for the little console that could, the Wii U.
The Wii U. Yes. Turns out, Wii U not hurting for good games.
No, this game was excellent. This was one of the best racers I've played. And I have played Need for Speed High Stakes.
Well, I have deep affection for a good kart racer. One of my favorite games of all time, Wacky Racers, is a kart racer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have affection for the genre, and I think this graphically is incredible. Mm-hmm. It is beautiful.
It is beautiful, and it's colorful. It's not like a lot of times, people think that games have to be gray or various shades of gray.
If you've played Watch Dogs, you know exactly what that is.
Yes. This is colorful. It's fun, and it's not like pretentious. It's not like, let's look at this. No, it's fun. You're going to play this with your friends. You're going to, which, that's what the Wii was known for, is lots of games you can play with your friends.
Well, I think it's how Nintendo differentiates itself.
Yeah.
I mean, really. It is that kind of couch multiplayer.
Yeah.
Most of their games that they're putting out have an element of that. And most games from any other publisher on any other system really kind of that's shunted to the side to like indie games like Sports Friends or Samurai Gun.
Yeah.
Whereas it is integrated into the heart of Super Mario Bros. U. It is integrated into the side missions of Pikmin. It is built into Super Mario 3D World.
Yep.
And it is almost the point of Mario Kart and the upcoming Super Smash Bros.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of Nintendo's biggest things with, heck, ever since the N64, it's been...
When they added 4 controller ports. Which was unheard of. A stock console with 4 controller ports. That blew my mind. I mean, you could get multi-taps, but just built-in 4 controller.
Yeah, that's crazy. What do you think about that, Macho Man Randy Savage?
The tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Yep, okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Macho Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a console... The GameCube had 4 controller ports, and it had online capabilities.
But also, I mean, that is the console that had Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
Which is, right now, many Smash Bros. Fans. There's a great documentary on YouTube called The Smash Bros. That is about high-level Super Smash Bros. Melee play that I watched the whole thing of. And that kind of is right now, the pinnacle. They didn't like Brawl. It was too arcadey or whatever. So, I mean, that's the system when that comes out. But even like Rogue Squadron for the GameCube, you could play split-screen multiplayer.
Split-screen multiplayer.
Yep.
You could do missions split-screen. It wasn't just you're going to shoot the other guy, which is what multiplayer is now, for the most part.
There was a co-op.
Yeah, I mean, co-op, and it gave you another plot. Like, it started with the rolling screen, and it was talking about these 2 pilots.
Yeah. So they actually gave it a story reason for it. So, I mean, I like the way that game looks. I think the Wii U is not a next-gen system. It's just not. But it is fundamentally a lot better than the Wii. And part of that's graphically. Mm-hmm. Part of that is its online integration is better. Mm-hmm. You don't need friend codes. You can just go online and play against people.
Yeah.
But this explains this at least shows what Nintendo can do with that hardware.
Yeah.
And that is make a beautiful game on its own.
That is fun.
That is fun.
And the problem is that these third-party publishers, they have to, if they want to make a game for the Wii U, they want to make it for the PS4 and the 360
Xbox One, and the Xbox
the
One.
Xbox One,
The
sorry.
Xbone.
The Xbone, and also maybe even the PS3 and Xbox 360. And they can't do that because they're two distinct machines. Your Xbone and your PS4 are going to have similar styling, so you're going to make the same game for that. The
Well, they're
Wii
basically
U,
the same architecture.
yeah, the Wii U you can't, because what the Wii U has is something completely different.
And it almost an entirely distinct audience.
Yeah. Yes.
If you are on the Wii U, you are there for very specific kinds of games.
I want to play Smash Brothers, so I'm going to get a Wii U. I want to play Mario Kart, so I'm going to get a Wii U. You're not going to
For us, it was Zelda. I mean,
yeah,
you know.
I want to play Zelda. It's not going to be, I want to play Gears of War, I'm going to play it on the Wii U.
But, I mean,
Because the Wii U doesn't do gray.
The Wii U is not a graphical powerhouse.
No.
What the Wii U is perfect at is implementing Nintendo's art style in high fidelity.
Yeah.
But all of the kind of third-party multi-platform games, the Wii U is not the best version of that.
No.
To me, I think about it very similar to the Sega Saturn. So what the Sega Saturn was an incredible 2D gaming system with 3D shoehorned into it. Could it do 3D? Yeah. But that's not what it was best at. It was best at the ultimate 2D sprite-based gaming system in an era where 3D was king with the with the original PlayStation and the N64. Right? They were talking about 3D, polygonal, and the Sega Saturn wasn't about that. And I think the Wii U is very much in that same vein of, in this era of like crazy numbers of polygons and, you know, super realistic graphics, and Nintendo goes, no, that's not what we do.
Yeah.
What we do is we do beautiful games, but we don't do graphics technical, we do graphics artistic.
Yeah.
And
we want to
this-
make a fun game that looks good in the sense that it attacks your eye with color.
But high fidelity and beautiful textures. It really is just a wonderfully put together visual experience. But it's not doing anything like what everyone else is doing, which
Yeah.
on one hand is great. It means Nintendo actually has its own niche in this market, and already Mario Kart has sold like 1.5 million units. It's the fastest selling Wii U game. It's the fastest selling Mario Kart ever, because everyone who owns about a Wii U, about 5 million people, are all going to buy this game.
Yeah.
Because what else is there for the Wii U?
Yeah.
So for Nintendo, I think it is successful, in and of itself. But what's going to drive system adoption for the Wii U?
Well, nothing, because what's happened is profitability has come from generic shooters and games that are going to appeal to the least common denominator. I'm sorry, people are like, oh, I'm a hardcore gamer. I play Call of Duty online. Number one, you're a 12-year-old racist.
Most likely.
Most likely.
Most likely 12-year-old
And
racist.
number two, it's like, if you want creative games, they shouldn't be made for people like that.
Well, I think...
No one is going to be... The people who are the ones that are claiming game as arts are going to be drawn to the Zeldas and the Nintendos.
But
they're not going to be drawn to these, GTA with the internet.
Right, which is Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you, but there's been a change in the market. That kind of game as art crowd, naturally drawn to Nintendo, now also naturally drawn to the indie game scene.
Yes.
Which the Xbox One and the PS4 have been super aggressive in capturing.
Right.
And so I think Nintendo missed two opportunities. One, they could have built a console that was hardware parity with the other two.
Yeah.
And so then they would, which is what they had in the N64 original PlayStation era, and it's the last time they had it. And so that there was some sense of you could do cross-platform, or you could at least have similar graphical experiences. And Nintendo hasn't had that since then.
Right.
They were actually more powerful than PS2, but you'd never know it. And they certainly were not nearly as powerful as the Xbox, or then the Xbox 360 or the PS3, or now the PS4 and the Xbox One. So they could have done that. Or they could have captured the indie scene and said, this is the console that you buy for our games, and this is the console you buy for all of these awesome indie exclusives. And they didn't do that. And that's the thing I've always wondered about, is why didn't they do that? Because they can't get the big publishers. They haven't been able to since the N64.
Yeah,
and a little bit the GameCube, but certainly not the Wii, and certainly not the Wii U.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go after and just capture the indie scene?
Well, it seems like a logical fit, because the people who are making these, by the way, they want to make pixels, and the pixel graphics from the 8-bit era are much better than the pixel graphics they use now.
But also,
Anywho.
the pixel graphics was a function of necessity rather than just like... I'm really tired of nostalgia.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the
on
thing. If Nintendo wanted to, they could say, we are the console of nostalgia, which, with us hipsters is great.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see a Adventure of Monkey Island on the Wii U using that
Well, I mean, to a
gamepad and stuff.
To a certain extent, they've done this kind of thing, right? They have NES Remix.
NES Remix is
and they
out,
have they've had the Virtual Console since the Wii. But the integration for that's weird. But for me, it's not just about the Nintendo stuff or even the existing franchise stuff. It's, why isn't Sports Friends a Wii U exclusive? You know what would go great on the Wii U? Johann Sebastian Joust. You want to know what isn't on the Wii U? Johann Sebastian Joust. Samurai Gun. All of these kind of like couch multiplayer indie games that are so in right now are perfect fits for the Wii U and also not on the Wii U.
Yeah. And I mean,
that's the thing that doesn't, and those are not hard deals to ink. Those are people who are desperate for money.
Well, here's the thing though, is as soon as Nintendo comes up and says, we'll give you $500,000. I don't know what the going rate for indie games are these days, but we'll give you $500,000 to give us 6 months exclusive. Microsoft can say, we can give you $2 million.
But see, that's the thing. Nintendo and Microsoft are the ones with cash reserves. Sony's broke.
Sony
is making, at one point, was making more money selling insurance than anything else. We think of Sony as this powerhouse, but honestly, I mean, the games division makes money, but the rest of Sony's busted because they charge too much for TVs, and they don't understand that the market moved on. They were too slow to react to the market moving on from Walkmans and Discmans, and they just sort of shot themselves in the foot. Sony makes great things, but can't seem to sell them. Sounds a lot like Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I mean, Sony Games is not responsible for that. They're doing great. But Nintendo has a heck of a cash reserve. They are not a broke company. Not right now. If they keep losing money the way they are, they will be. But they really
I think Nintendo has a good business model from the fact that every Wii U they sell is a profit.
It's a profit, which no other
they made it so that their consoles, no matter what, are profitable.
Well, they follow the Apple model, and they actually make money on hardware. They don't think of hardware as a loss leader.
No.
And it's why they're able to sell not that many Wii U's and still think, I mean, they are a little bit running up into desperation, but not nearly like if Sony was to sell so that few PS4s, they'd be done.
Yeah.
They'd just be out of the console game. And Nintendo's like, oh, things are bad, but not like the house is burning down.
Right.
You know, they're thinking of doing a whole Skylanders model.
Yeah, and nothing, nothing will burn that house down because it's Nintendo. They're
It's
always
also stood for 100 years.
Yeah. And it's been, in fact, let me go check the...
Well, it was founded as a trading card company.
And then Love Hotels.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things.
And now it owns the Seattle Mariners.
It does. Actually, there's a great book about the history of Nintendo and Sega called Console Wars. I think I've recommended it on some show. It just came out a couple weeks ago, and I read the book. It's excellent, but it goes into the history of Nintendo and how they've been able to react to changes in the market for about 100 years. So I'm not worried about Nintendo as a company. I think they missed a opportunity that is in line with what they do.
They want. They want pretty games as arts, all that games as art stuff.
Game
and they
art.
could do that with indie games.
They don't want. I get that they don't want the pixel pushing shooters. They've basically made that clear that that's not their business for whatever reason. Okay, fine. That's not the only thing that's growing or even making money in gaming. These indie games are doing pretty well, at least for the some indie game creators. And critically, they're doing amazing. gaming critics, but all they talk about these days, it feels like, is indie games. And I roll my eyes because most of the stuff I'm not interested in. But I think that fits perfectly with Nintendo's core business of creative, interesting games. And yet, they're not number one in the indie game space. In fact, they're just a footnote. Very few indie games come out on the Wii U. And if they are coming out, I don't know about them because they're not being promoted.
Right. FYI, Nintendo in 2014 made $5.8 billion.
Made? As in revenue?
Revenue.
Revenue? Okay, so that's not made. So what's the profit?
Profit? Let me check.
So because that's the line you got to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they, because the 3DS is still pretty successful, so they're going to have some sell-through.
Yeah, from a profit standpoint, they only made $26.8 million.
Still, I mean, they're still a profitable company in what is a bad year.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about how they do their business. Actually says a lot about how they do their business.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a lot to be said about what Nintendo's doing, and I think Mario Kart 8 represents a lot of what they're doing right. Except for one thing. They have still not shown what's the point of that gamepad. Hey, Steven, you just played some Mario Kart 8, and you were using the gamepad. What did you use the gamepad for?
I honked the horn.
Your gamepad is a horn. I mean, you can use it as a steering wheel,
yeah.
But good, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of, like, what it did with Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum, it was your map.
It was your map and your utility belt, basically.
And I liked what it did with Zombies U, where it actually... Zombies U, I think, is the only game that actually really integrated it.
And then, what was it, Wii Party U, or whatever it was?
Nintendo Land.
Nintendo Land, yeah, where it was basically, there's games, and
it was the asymmetrical multiplayer stuff.
It's, you have to hide something, so you look at the gamepad, and you hide it, and the other people have to find it on the TV with their...
But you have this kind of marquee game in a marquee franchise, a franchise that Nintendo announced this week has sold 100 million units across its 8 iterations. And they're not using the gamepad hardly at all. And that's what keeps, that system at $300. And why it launched at $350 for the package that you wanted. Is because of that gamepad. It's not that expensive a hardware except for the gamepad. And if that's what's keeping that price out of the impulse buy category, because I think if you get down around $200, like the Wii, people just buy them and they don't even know why.
Yeah.
It's just, it's $200 and it's there. Of course I'm going to buy it. Nintendo.
Yeah.
If that's supposed to be the big differentiator for this console, it's raison d'etre, why is it not being used by a Nintendo core franchise? And I have no sense of how they're going to use it in Smash Brothers either. They hardly really used it for Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
Or whatever that was. Yeah.
They used it for Super Mario Wii U because you could use it as the person there could make platforms, yeah?
Yeah.
It was that multiplayer.
It was that, again, that asymmetrical multiplayer. But again, like, that's not system selling. I do like the remote play feature where I can be playing a game on it while the television's doing something else. That's kind of nice. But again, I feel like they're not justifying the existence of that piece of hardware.
Yeah.
So, Steven, you said you had another thing. What's your other thing?
Oh, yeah, and this was just going to be quick and dirty.
That's how I like it.
Like everything I do. It's going to be quick, dirty. You will not like it.
And vaguely disappointing.
And vaguely disappointing.
I mean,
yes.
Thrilling. Lay it on
right.
me.
E3.
Electronic 3, yes.
The electronicity is coming up soon.
Next week.
Next week, yes. And as we all know, Mortal Kombat 10.
Mortal Kombat X.
Was it Mortal Kombat 10?
I believe
Mortal Kombat X2 Boogaloo or whatever.
I believe that that the creator of the Mortal Kombat franchise has been on record as calling it Mortal Kombat X. I believe that's true. Anyways, tell me about
is coming up.
Yes, it is.
And I just want to know, since that is one of the first things that has been announced, what do you hope to be announced at E3 that you know definitely is not going to be announced? And what do you expect to be announced that's definitely going to probably be announced?
Well, I feel like almost everything's leaked. This is one of those weird years where, like, everything has either already been announced officially or leaked out and was forced to be announced. So we have the new Battlefield game,
Yep.
Battlefield Cops and Robbers. What's Hardline? Battlefield Hardline. That leaked and then ended up getting confirmed. Microsoft already announced Forza Horizon 2, which I'm actually really excited about because I like Forza and I liked the original Horizon. Oddly, also coming to Xbox 360, even though it's a first-party game. Yeah, explain that one to me.
Maybe more people have an Xbox 360 still.
Yes, but
It's one of those. It's like
it's economics.
making the games for the PS2 and the PS3 was out for 5 years.
Right, but it's one thing if it's a third party, it's another thing it's a first party game. Anyways, Forza Horizon 2 has already been announced. Obviously, we know Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed Unity. Trying to think. Right now, we think there are very few things we don't know about.
Yeah.
The sense I get from... I mean, obviously, I don't go to E3 Judges Week. We're not that important. But for the sources that I follow that do go to Judges Week, there's still some stuff that hasn't been announced. Mortal Kombat 10, up until recently, was one of those things. A bunch of things have been delayed. Batman Arkham Knight has been delayed. Let me think. What else has been delayed? What's that Ubisoft game? Not The Crew, but...
The Division?
The Division.
Tom Clancy's The Division.
Tom Clancy's The Division's been delayed to 2015. The Order 1886 has been delayed till 2015. So what do I want? What do I want to see that I don't think we'll see? I want to see a new hardware rev by Nintendo of the Wii U. What do I want that I know I won't see that I want to see? I want to see a less Fisher Price tablet.
Yeah.
Wii U. And maybe one that is like just a tablet and like an Apple TV sized device. And that's it. All discless even. Maybe something crazy. Just some crazy hardware, Wii U hardware bundle from Nintendo. I would love to see it. Because fundamentally what I love about E3 is crazy hardware. Even if it's hardware I don't want, even if it's hardware that I think is awful, I love crazy gaming hardware and gaming peripherals and just the dumb hardware gimmicks. The Sega Genesis to me is one of the best consoles, not because of the games, but because of the sheer number of accessories you can buy for that thing. You want to turn to a 32-bit system? You can do that. You want to play CDs on it? You can do that. You want a handheld one? I'll give you a Nomad. Like, that's what I love about E3, is just the crazy hardware stuff. And that's what I want to see. So what do you want to see that you don't think you're going to say?
That Final Fantasy 15 will be any good.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Final Fantasy, the whole lightning crap, that was corridor plot.
The correct answer to this question, by the way, is Last Guardian.
Yes. I'm just looking at the list of stuff that's already been confirmed.
It's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot. You're going to be happy. Persona 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're going to be excited for that. I want to know what this Hyrule Warriors thing's going to be.
It's Zelda made by the Dynasty Warriors people.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, that was announced in a Nintendo Direct a few months back. So what it is it is basically Dynasty Warriors, but with Zelda characters. Yeah.
Maybe not then.
I mean, I think we will see Nintendo announce an actual legitimate new entry in the Zelda series.
Yes, I think so too.
And I mean, if you want to talk about something I'm actually excited about that I think we will see, it's a new entry in the Zelda series. And a full, Skyward Sword level entry in the Zelda series. I mean, I knew Persona 5 was coming. It probably won't come to the US until 2015. It's expected end of the year in Japan, but it'll take some time to localize, and usually they don't do day and date release. So we'll probably get that. That will probably be my game of 2015 that I will go to the mat and fight for blood with. Because, everyone knows my deep and abiding love for Persona 4 Golden. It was just one of the best games I've ever played. So what else has been confirmed that's interesting?
That's interesting. Well, let's see. Telltale is doing Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we knew that.
And Tales from the Borderlands.
Yes, those were announced a while back.
Yep.
We'll probably see some preview stuff. I'm interested to see what they do with the Game of Thrones in particular, because I think that can just go terribly awry.
Yeah.
But it's Telltale, and they've done pretty well with licensed properties up until now.
Okay. And last one that intrigues me is Batman Arkham Knight.
which has been pushed to 2015.
Yes, but Arkham Origins was
Eh,
meh.
eh.
But that's one of those. It's like, I really hope it's a blip and not just a downward trend. Cough, cough. Final Fantasy. Cough, cough.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy is the ultimate, like, diminishing returns.
Yeah.
But you look at Assassin's Creed. If you want to look at a series that's heavily iterated on, that has periodically still done great things, Assassin's Creed Revelation, kind of a downward turn. Assassin's Creed 3, even more of a downward turn. Assassin's Creed 4, we have been fighting tooth and nail whether or not it was actually the best game of last year.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if it goes in that way, there's a chance for a turnaround.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed and GTA are series that I look at and go, okay, even if it's heavily iterated on, the entries, individual entries, can still be good. And the core thing of Batman, the first two games, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City,
Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. Yep,
those were great games.
they were.
Both of those were Game of the Year contenders, and often, in many cases, won those awards. I played Arkham City. I did not play Arkham Asylum. I liked it. I couldn't get into the combat, but that's a me problem, not the game problem. This one adds like the Batmobile, in maybe interesting ways. It's kind of like a hover tank. Might be. I don't know. The reactions I'm hearing of people who have played preview builds is pretty mixed.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean when it comes out, it won't be a decent game.
Yeah. And our last one that I'm very excited to see on this list, because it was my favorite PS2 game ever. Loved it. Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, and actually being made by the folks, by DICE, who normally what is that studio called? The studio that makes Battlefield. Is it DICE?
I think it is DICE.
Yeah. Sorry, there's also a conference named DICE, which drives me crazy. So it's actually being made by the Battlefield.
Yep, Digital Illusions.
Yeah. So it's actually being made by those people on the Frostbite engine, and this could be like legitimately an amazing Star Wars shooter, which has happened before. Now, the Star Wars game I really wanted got canceled, Star Wars 1313, with the death of LucasArts. That's the one I was really looking forward to, because it was basically Uncharted Star Wars, so it hits, anytime it's a first-person game, I'm out because I vomit. Which is always great fun. What's not on that list that you think we'll actually see that you're excited about?
I don't know. I think Konami is going to do something, because they have to.
Yep.
Because right now it's just Metal Gear.
Yep.
And that's not enough for them. So I wonder what they're going to do. Maybe.
What does Konami? Who is
they just
Konami
have?
at this
They
point?
just have Metal Gear now.
Well, technically, they still have Mega Man's Capcom.
Mega Man's Capcom. They had Ninja Gaiden, and then that
Great.
went to that stuff.
That much beloved.
So I want to see if Konami can do something
that doesn't involve
else
Snake.
that doesn't involve that. Bethesda, I'd like to see
Fallout.
I want to see a new Fallout.
Fallout 4. And that's been heavily rumored. I don't think it's been confirmed.
Either Fallout 4 or Fallout Online.
Now, I mean, Fallout 4 we've been hearing a lot about.
Yeah.
Normally, Bethesda does not go big at E3.
Yeah.
But what I've heard is console makers might pay to have Fallout 4
announced first run at this.
Even if it's not
Yeah.
going to be, even if it's going to be cross-platform, and now here's a teaser roll of all the amazing things coming to Xbone, and then you see the Fallout logo or whatever. I mean, that would be exciting.
Yeah.
Theoretically, that is definitely within the realm of possibility of something we might see.
And other than that, I think Witcher 3 is going to be fun.
Yes.
Lots of witch sex going down.
And I can't remember.
Aboard the sex train.
I think that's been delayed to 2015 as well. I can't remember. I think that has been delayed. I know it's been delayed. It may be to 2015.
Yeah.
But I mean, Witcher 2 was a great game. I'm looking forward to Witcher 3. Because they're really good. That's CD Projekt Red, and I'm getting good at memorizing studios.
Yes, you are.
Let me tell you, I'm in deep, man. That's CD Projekt Red, and one of the things they specialize is just beating the crap out of hardware and getting amazing graphics.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what that game looks like. So you'll have breasts with many polygons.
Oh, yes.
Basically, because they also known for the sex in their games.
Yes, they are. And my last thing that I want to see is a sequel
A sequel
to Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Well, I mean, there has been confirmed a new Far Cry game, so there may well be a new DLC that is Far Cry Blood Dragon 2.
That was by far
I was
one of the most fun things that has ever been played.
That thing is just, even the idea of it is hilarious.
Yeah.
How hard they committed to that thing.
Exactly. This is going to be a standalone game.
Yeah.
And just the fact it uses the Far Cry engine, but it is still its own separate entity, and it's just fun. Because a lot of times you buy these shooters and it's like, I'm macho guy, but I've got feelings, plot lines and crap. And
Women as plot devices.
Yeah, it's like you're playing a 1980s action film that's trying to be Saving Private Ryan with its script. It's not going to be. Just own up to it. You're playing Blood Dragon.
Yeah. And then Blood Dragon absolutely went there.
It took the piss out of itself, and it was lovely.
So, what we might do, probably next week's Tech's Last Call will be somewhat devoted to covering what's happened at E3. This show will record probably too early to really get a reaction because of my travel schedule. I have a conference I have to go to. So probably next Thursday night, we'll do wrap-up coverage from E3 on Tech's Last Call. So check that out. This is just kind of what we want to see. This is done obviously in advance of E3. We'll know everything probably by next Tuesday, but because of our magics of recording schedule, we can't record that night.
Yeah.
So yeah, next Thursday, check back in with us and see what will actually happen. If you have any feedback for the show, podcast at techslastcall.com, facebook.com/techslastcall, pinterest.com/techslastcall, or at techslastcall on Twitter. Good night.
I kind of also want to do a Kickstarter for All Aboard the Sex Train video game.
Yep. Great.
Woo woo!
Woo woo.